All right, we're in Paris. This is first stop of our honeymoon. We got there super early in the morning and headed straight to the hotel. We were surprised by a super cute message on the mirror welcoming us on our honeymoon. Le Grand Pigalle is also very special to us because the first time we came to Paris together in 2015, this is where we stayed. And we pretty much come back every time we go to Paris. So it's a very special place for us and a perfect first stop for our honeymoon. Shortly after this, we threw our stuff down, quickly changed, and ran to the French Bastards. I had heard about this spot on TikTok, and they said this was the best pain au chocolat in the city, and obviously I had to find out for myself. We ordered 2 espressos and 2 pain au chocolats and went outside to the benches to dig in. There's no seating inside, which I should note. But this was the first bite, and I'm pretty sure it was bon.
Bon? Yeah.
After this, we headed up to my first stop anytime I'm in Paris, which is Montmartre. It is conveniently located walking distance from the Grand Pigalle Hotel, so we always stop here first. It's 222 steps to the top of the hill, or La Butte as it's known in French. But if you're not feeling up to the walk, you can still access this area by a funicular train, which will take you from the bottom all the way up to the top. This village is always happening. Every time I come, it's busier and busier. It's becoming more popular with every trip I take back to Paris, which is great. I remember my first time here, it was winter and they were selling mulled wine. And that was my first time having hot wine, which was such an experience. But in the summertime, there's street artists and vendors and there's food everywhere. It's a really happening and fun first outing in Paris. And the Sacré-Cœur is one of the most beautiful views in all of the city. It's hotly contested that it's not, but I'm telling you, you heard it here first. It's one of my favorite views of the whole city. This next stop was also influenced by TikTok. Grenouille, which means frog in French, is a little sandwich shop, and they serve hot raclette sandwiches. So if you haven't had this, it's basically like fondue on baguette, and it's incredible. Tyler and I first had raclette when we were in Bordeaux, also probably around 2017-ish. It's insanely good. Look at that. Yum, 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 yum. As you can see here, we were not the only ones who wanted to visit Sacré-Cœur and the most beautiful view. It was crazy packed. Tyler and I actually got separated and then we found each other. I'm always probably just taking a picture of something somewhere from a different angle, so if you ever lose me, that's how you find me. If you haven't caught on yet, dogs are one of our other over everythings. We are big dog lovers. This is a beautiful Bernese Mountain Dog.
We're clearly still figuring out how to use this camera properly here. It's difficult with the gimbal endpoints to figure out when you're trying to shoot like a wider scene or a longer scene vertically, but we'll get there.
After being in the big crowds, we were eager to kind of form our own path and find some space. But before we did that, we hunted down the photo booth that was also on TikTok, and it was really funny because it was this huge line and everyone's waiting for the same thing, and it's like every other photo booth that exists all around the world, but it's just fun for some reason. What they don't tell you is the booth is tiny. 2 of us barely fit in there, so you can see in these photos I'm humongous compared to Tyler if we're talking perspective, but the picture still came out cute. Another one of our favorite Parisian pastimes is sitting at a sidewalk cafe and just people watching. I think we could be completely silent just enjoying our cold beverages and just watching what's happening around us. I didn't even see these cool skater boys, so bummed I missed that. It's so wild to see how much we fit into these days because it already feels like we've had a full day, but it's just the middle of it. So this is Bourse du Commerce. It's a beautiful collection of art. So it's most known for this Hall of Mirrors, which I saw on TikTok, which is what got us through the door. I did book tickets ahead of time, but I don't think you need to. There was a line for people who needed to buy tickets, but if you buy in advance, you just have to be diligent with your schedule and make sure you're going to be in that area at that time. It just depends how you like to travel. Truly jarring experience coming from the serenity of the Hall of Mirrors is entering this exhibit where these are mobile sculptures of old men. It was terrifying. I don't recommend looking at those. However, as you kept going up, you could see different angles of the Hall of Mirrors, the ceiling, and this beautiful piece that was kind of constructed around the whole building. So that was really incredible.
Which way? You sure?
No.
Just something funky. Do a jump. Oh, that's what you're gonna do. Traveling.
For me, it's not a visit to Paris without walking through Les Jardins des Tuileries. This is outside of the Louvre, so if you've been to Paris before, you've probably walked through it or can recognize it for its beauty. This afternoon, we had a very long stroll. We were looking for Canal Saint-Martin, which, if you've been to Paris, you know is nowhere near here. And we were looking for snacks and got very tripped up along the way. We just had such a hard time finding like a little grocery store to find something to snack on at the canal, but then eventually it all worked out and it was fine. But it was definitely a journey. You can see we look a little bit frustrated here. We ended up stopping at a few places to grab like the chips, the champagne, the little quiche thing. We had to go to like 3 different stores, and then as we were walking up to the final little strip right before the canal, we saw like a perfect little stop to pick up everything we would have needed. So that was a little bit annoying, but we've noted that for future. And the food brought us back to life. I mean, we are simple creatures. Good view, good food. We're good to go. I have to shout out the bakery where we found this gorgeous piece of quiche. It was called the House of Three Brothers. They make a ton of delicious things, but we got the lemon poppy seed cake and the spinach and tomato quiche, and that really turned the night around for us. I'll share their website and Google Maps location in the description. If you watched our last video, you may have seen my shopping adventure where I bought this bag that you can see here. This is the Goni Boo bag, and I'm wrapping my sunglasses in a cloth because the case is too big to fit in that bag. So while that bag is cute, it is not
going to be given away.
Big enough to hold everything.
Those. Find someone who wants it. Of course, it's keeping those. She's drinking out of a sippy cup. Serving cash wherever we can.
Free sippy cup.
Yeah. It's like literally called like 2-sip sippy cup. I think it should have been their brand. It's pretty good though. It's like double espresso shots and you're good. Kind of what we needed today. Double espresso.
See.
They just sink. These birds are gonna learn to swim.
Once we were full of our snacks, we decided to walk on back to our hotel, and then we discovered the pretty side of Canal Saint-Martin. Apparently we were on the less pretty side, but you know what? We didn't enjoy it any less. It was still a lovely sunset picnic, and I actually got a gorgeous film photo of that cafe that's behind me in this shot, and I think I'm gonna frame it.
Cool? Come around your way. Behind you. Got some film.
Taking our first black and white roll.
Yeah. Nice.
And she's in.
I love that we shot this, but oh my god, my hair. Waking up at Le Grand Pigalle is so lovely, and my favorite part of staying here is the breakfast, and you'll see why in a second. I remember the first time we stayed here, I was floored by how good the breakfast spread was. It's since changed a bit, so the Grand Pigalle, I think, was bought by a different hotel group, and they turned the breakfast area into its own functioning restaurant. So this is called Frenchy Pigalle, which is a self-sustaining restaurant outside of the hotel, but it can be included with your rate if you book breakfast in advance. So we booked breakfast because we know how good it is. Tyler and I are both very precious about coffee. It's another one of our over everythings. Tyler's probably a bit more finicky than I am with his coffee. He's very particular about beans, about the way it's roasted. And I feel like my palate's a little less sophisticated, but maybe it'll get there. So we got the gorgeous avocado toast with poached egg on, I think it's sourdough, but it might be brioche. But as you can see, there's also a whole basket of bread and croissants on the table with jams, and butter is one of my other over everythings. And this butter is, I mean, French butter in general is elite, but this butter is like demi-sel, perfect, creamy, salty, delicious, amazing, and I think I put some in my purse. Like, I'm that obsessed with butter. So the way this breakfast works is you can order something hot off the menu like eggs, and you always get the basket of pastries and bread, and then you also get fruit and yogurt and homemade granola. So it's pretty incredible. So today we are on our way to my other favorite area in Paris, Le Marais. So we're walking through Pigalle right now, and this was a street fair and little market that just popped up. I don't remember which day this was, but I'm pretty sure they have it weekly, and they were selling all kinds of things like clothes and records and buttons and matchbooks. Anything you want, it was there. We had a bit of time to kill before our first reservation of the day, which was at the Picasso Museum. So I booked those tickets in advance as well. I just wanted to make sure that we were able to see the two things that I really wanted to see this trip. And it was awesome. This museum really impressed me. I have been to Paris probably 7 or 8 times, and I studied abroad here my senior year of college, and I had never been to this museum. So I highly recommend. The experience they curated for this exhibit was incredible. It was very bright and airy when you first walked in. There's these like short clips that kind of get you into the era of when this art was being produced, and it just felt really thoughtful and strategic. The in-between spaces in these kinds of exhibits can be kind of boring, but I liked what they did here with all these different quotes. It made it feel connected to the art without feeling overwhelming. I don't really know what the intention behind this shot was, but it kind of reminds me of Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I don't know why. Maybe when they were at the museum and they did the kind of like stop motion scene, but it's cute. These are our feet. And somehow Tyler was not embarrassed to be picking his nose on camera and then wiping it on my sweater. After strolling around this museum for about an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, we were super hungry, so we just kind of walked to the closest place we could find. And it turns out we'd been there before. It's a great little French bistro sidewalk cafe. It doesn't have the best reviews, but if you're just looking for a croque monsieur and a beer, it's the place to go. It's called La Petite Place. I'll put it in the description. After La Petite Place, we went to Fol de Rol for ice cream and wine, and we waited in that line. I think I was first in line because I'm crazy, but we were a little afraid to take video there because there's like a big sign that says no TikToks, enjoy your life. So we tried to follow the rules. For our last night in Paris, we went to Giraffe for our special honeymoon dinner. I was so in love with this outfit. The background video is one of the appetizers we had. Tyler looking very cute at our table. We didn't bring our vlog camera with. We didn't think it was the right setting. We were worried we weren't going to sit outside, but they managed to accommodate us, and we had such a great night.
Did you walk in?
For our last morning, we took the metro, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's very easy to use and follow. And now you can just tap to pay, which makes it even easier, to Ile Saint-Louis, where the Notre Dame is, and Shakespeare & Co., among other wonderful sites. It's a great place to walk around, and I pretty much can't leave Paris until I've touched grass here. Shakespeare & Co. is iconic. It's such a great spot. Unfortunately, there are a lot of lines now, but it's really worth it. It's a beautiful store, and there's a lot of history there. As we prepared to head out to the airport, Tyler made one last stop to Le Pétrin du Pigalle, which is the supplier for pastries for our hotel. This is where you get the best pain au chocolat. And sandwiches are incredible too. That's a wrap on Paris, stop one of the honeymoon. Stay tuned for Provence, which is coming next. Don't forget to like and subscribe.